All right, good morning, YouTube. I'm working on the Stromberg. Everything I read online says you can just hook up 60 batteries. It's 10 volts, and it should self-wind. The problem is, I'm looking at this. I've got 6 wires coming out. This wire comes out of this ceramic insulator right here, and then the wire just goes right back into it. So I don't know what that is. I've got a red here, so I don't know what the red is. I've got this speaker wire that one is marked positive, which that really helps. Um, I've got a bunch labeled back here, but I don't understand the labeling and I don't understand the system, so I'm going to have to take the dial off and then actually manually trace the wires to make sure everything's hooked up correctly. Once I get that done, I can figure out what's going where. I'll then hook up my battery box and we'll see if this thing actually self-winds. Okay, so I've got the face off the Stromberg, and let me show you what we're dealing with here. Okay, so I've got plus, minus. These are all minuses down here at the bottom. So I guess these are negatives down here, and then up here these are all positives. Connects to bottom portion, connects to bottom portion. So I'm gonna take these wires, hook them all, I'm gonna take all these wires, hook them up to positive, and all these wires, hook them up to negative, and let's see what this sucker will do. Without this, it'll only run for like an hour or so, and then it stops. But let me trace some wires and see what we come up with here. Alright, so negative. This is a negative. This is negative. This is a negative. Okay. And that negative is going to go to this negative. Which makes this positive. Oh, that's a positive. This is why I am not an electrician by trade. But let's see what happens here. Okay, so I've got negatives over here, positives over there. Let me wire this up real quick, just do a temporary wiring with this, and let's see what happens. Okay, so I was just going through some of my electrical boxes, and I don't have the connectors, butt connectors. I guess they were in a different box, they're not here, the parts I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily connect this up, which you've seen. I found some wire nuts, I got Wago connectors. If you don't know what I call them Wago connectors, they're just these little butt splices things. They're really handy because you can easily undo them and undo them. Traced all the wires, got all the positives and the negatives, but let's see if this thing will work, and then I'll come back when I get my actual electrical stuff, and my little good connectors, and I'll pretty up all these connections. I don't like these green wires. They look like they're corroded. I don't know if they're supposed to be that way or if that is just how the wire is, but I'm not a big fan. So let's see what happens here. All right. That is hooked up. So this has a little switch on it. See that? Okay, that went over the switch and nothing happened. So let me grab something that does not conduct electricity. right. Do not see anything happening. Okay. Okay, so I discovered something. See this right here? This is when you hook up power, this goes straight to that, and the clock runs. Let me disconnect power real quick. And the clock stops. You see that? Where you hook it up. And I don't know what that does. Some part of the winding system. Let me unhook the power real quick. So I think this is working. Because when I unhook the power, the clock stops. This is relatively uneventful, which I guess is good. So what I'm going to do is, the clock was not wound at all before I started. It is now 9:20 in the morning. This part is against it, so I assume it's winding or doing what it needs to do. I'm just going to let this thing run for a while and see what happens. If it runs for more than 2 hours, I know the electrical system's working. And then I want to come back, once I know that's working, I need to remove my pendulum patch job. I know, I just put the tape there because I was scared it was going to fall. Pendulum's heavy. And I'm going to redo some of these wires. See this wire right here? I don't know if you can see that. It's very green. But I forgot all my connectors. I'm going to put some nice connectors there, nice connectors here. Replace the wires. I'm going to label the wires. And see all this shenanigans on top. I'm going to get rid of the speaker wire. I'm going to properly color code black and red. It's going to take a little bit of time. Right now, I just want to make sure this thing is working, which it appears to be. So I'll check back in a couple hours and let you know what's going on. Okay, so this clock ran for about, I don't know, 3 minutes, and then it just stopped. And I don't know why. I know if I unhook the power, it disengages this right here, and then if I connect the power back up, that engages again and the clock runs. So I don't know if I'm missing something here. We need to do a little further investigation. Check the wires. I need to get a meter and see what's going on with the meter here. I know the winding wheel is in the back here, but oh, let me see what's going on here. This wiring is not the greatest. Okay, so did you see that? It just stopped running. So let me tinker around with this a little bit and see what's going on here. Okay, so I've manually wound the clock and restarted it. see if I got power hooked up. I do. Do I? If I have, there we go. So I've mainly wound the clock. Pull 10 times to wind. So usually it would stop about every 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to see if it goes longer now that I've wound it, and if it'll keep the wind, because it had no wind. I was hoping it was going to kind of wind itself. But let's see what happens. It's now 9:25 in the morning. I'm gonna come back in an hour or two and see what it's up to. Okay, YouTube, this is the Stromberg, and it's actually working, believe it or not. Look, this is gonna go right there, and this is gonna move right here. Wait for it. There it goes. But it is actually working. Alright, so I had a bunch of wires. If you look in the other videos, I had been fooling this thing for 2 weeks. Had several problems. I had a bunch of wires. They're down here on the floor. They're mislabeled. I couldn't figure out what was coming or what was going. So basically right now, I've just got the power running in. It goes to the switch. As soon as it hits this cogs, that white spot right there, so it's the white spot, it sends power down here. This moves the magnet over there, which then comes up and winds it right there, the winder, and turns the winding wheel right back here. Here, watch, you'll see it here in a second. But I am happy this thing finally works. And okay, here it goes. There it goes. And that keeps it wound. So what happened is, number one, I had the batteries hooked up wrong. I had them positive to the positive, and negative, and that was I got, you know, in sequence and in parallel mixed up. So now basically I've got D batteries all hooked up here. So I've got the negative from the clock to the negative here. And the positive from here goes to the negative of this one, and the positive of this one goes to the negative of that one, and the positive of this one goes to the negative of that one, and the positive of this one goes to the positive of the clock. That's about 20 volts. I was trying to do it with about 9 volts, and this would move, but it wouldn't move far enough to wind it. So then I went up to what is it, 12 and a half, 14 volts, and that wouldn't do it. So now that I got 4 battery packs, about 18 volts, it is working good. I'm going to, there's a voltage regulator piece you can order online. I've seen it. I think I'm gonna mount it over here and then mount the batteries underneath here, so it'll just look cleaner. I've got to I've got these like little solder connectors to solder up all these connections, make this look good. I've just been testing it. Man, it has been a challenge, but it is working now. Got rid of all the extra wires, the little relay jumper that was running from negative to negative or positive to negative over here. Thank you to all the people, and there's a Facebook group for these self-winding clocks. We're a ton of help, and I greatly appreciate it. Would not have gotten this sucker working without him, because I didn't know anything about it. But she's working. There it goes. Alright, thank you very much. Now on to the next project. Let me put the face together. I still got to order some glass for in here. There's no glass. Order the glass, and then this one will be done. I'll put the face back on, and yeah, get on moving to the next project. Okay, here's the Stromberg with the face back on. Gotta replace the glass. This one is just about done. I'll call tomorrow and order some glass for it. Need to order the stuff to hide the batteries. I could tuck them in the top for now, but there it goes.